Alright, so Nigeria's women's basketball team, also known as the Tigress of Nigeria, have already had an historic run at the Olympic Games in Paris. First win in 20 years, check. First African side in the quarterfinals, double check. But now if we're to continue making history and become the first team in the semifinals, first African team in the semifinals, we'll have to go against not just one of the best teams in the world, but the best team in the world. And of course, that team is the United States of America. And we're going to be talking about the matchup in this video. Of course, how we got to this matchup right here between Nigeria and USA. We're going to be talking about that. But first, please make sure to like this video. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Thank you very much. So yeah, the game between Nigeria and USA will be played this Wednesday, the 7th of August. And it will start 8:30 p.m. Nigerian time. Now, when it comes to how we got into this matchup, you got to go back to yesterday. Of course, yesterday we celebrated the Tigress making themselves the first African side to make it into the quarterfinals of this competition. That was after a win against Canada. That was their second win of the competition thus far. And even though they created history, they ain't really know much else after that, because they have to wait till the final match of the group between France and Australia to know where they will finish on the table. And going into that game, France had 2 wins, 0 losses, while Australia had 1 win and 1 loss. And at the end of the game, France ended up losing the game to Australia. And that kind of put everything on its head right there, because then it made sure that 3 teams in the group would end with 2 wins and 1 loss. And when that happens, what FIBA does, or the Olympic people do, is to basically take out the team that didn't finish 2-1 and only use the numbers that you got against the other 2-1 teams. So the results against Canada were taken out the picture, and in the case of Nigeria, we only could use the results between Australia and France. And when it's done like that, we actually finish a little lower than Australia when you look at the point difference. Now, finishing third in our group kind of pointed us in the way of playing the USA, but it really didn't finalize anything really, because there had to be a draw after all that. Now, I said it pointed us in the direction because there are like 4 pots in the draw. There's the pot that the USA is in, and there's the pot that we're in. Of course, 8 teams left in the competition, 2 teams in each pot, and out of the 50-50 chance, we get to play the USA. I don't know who else was in our pot. I guess another 3rd place finishing team, and we were the lucky ones to get to play the USA, I guess. Now, when it comes to the US, like I said at the top, best team in the world. I don't think it's close. They have the best players, best coaches, best facilities. I mean, I don't really think it's close when it comes to the U.S. It's the U.S. and everybody else. 10-time Olympic champions, and I believe they're going for 8 wins in a row. 8 Olympic titles in a row, and this one right here. Now, when it comes to their team, there's no secret as to who their best players are. They have 2 of the best players in the world in A'ja Wilson and Breanna Stewart, aka Stewie. Both these players are just top of the top. They're the upper echelons of basketball, women's basketball right now, especially A'ja Wilson. If I'm coaching Nigeria, I'll tell our post players, make it hard for them, make them work both on offense or defense, but don't take it in your mind that you're going to stop them. You're trying to slow them down in this game. Make it hard for them, especially when they're on the defensive end. Make them work in the paint, work for position. Make them just uncomfortable in the game. But apart from that, you're not going to stop them. They're going to get around that 18 to 23. Now, if they get more than that, that might be an issue. But if we can keep them around their average, I don't see any problem with that. Now, for us, we just have to be consistent scorers of the ball. We can't be going 2 or 3 possessions in a row without getting anything out of it. We got to get the ball in the bucket. A player like Ezinne Kalu will be real important for us in this game. I really don't think their guards can stay in front of her. I feel like she's going to be a menace all day to them. If she takes it to the rack, I feel like her first step is just so tough for anybody to guard in this competition. Of course, we need other players to step up also. A player like Promise Amukamara needs to be more consistent with her scoring, needs to be more efficient with her scoring. You got Mujanatu Musa. I feel like she got some cheap fouls in the last game. So did Palace Kunai Abana. I feel like both of them got some cheap fouls, and we definitely have to be careful in this game right here because, like I said, two of the best players in the world, they're going to get the calls. We're not going to get the benefit of a doubt. They are. So we definitely have to be on our best behavior in this one. But that being said, I feel like if there's any team in this competition that can beat the United States, I feel like you're looking at them. This is the team right here. This is the only chance the world has in this competition. First of all, the way we play is so much different from what they've seen from the other teams. It's a different look that we're going to give them. And not just that, we got a number of players that have something to prove to the United States. We got players who were born and raised in the U.S., played their college basketball in the U.S., but no look from the national team. Not a side eye. And they'll want to prove that, hey, we are good enough to play on your team, but y'all just messed up. And what better way to prove that than to get a win? But that being said, this is going to be a tough matchup. Not going to sugarcoat it for y'all. This is going to be a really tough matchup for the team. Nigeria will be taking on the United States of America in the quarterfinals of the women's basketball competition at the Olympic Games. The game will be played this Wednesday, the 7th of August, 8:30 p.m. Nigerian time will be the start, and it will be hosted at the Barcy Arena in Paris, France. So let me know your thoughts on Nigeria's chances in the game. Put it in the comment section. And please don't forget to like this video. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Thank y'all for watching. Peace.